Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and the Dallas Cowboys face Maxx Crosby, Ashton Jeanty, and the Raiders on Monday Night Football. Now, Las Vegas is dealing with a bit of an injury to their starting quarterback, Geno Smith, dealing with a quad contusion that he picked up on their Thursday night matchup against the Denver Broncos, a game that they battled to the very end. I'm very proud of the performance all around of this team. Would they have loved a lot more offense to play better offensively? No doubt, to be tight with that team. A 48-yard game, tying field goal to send it to overtime, short of going to overtime with one of the best teams in the NFL. There's no doubt about that with Denver. And they're also now going up against a team in Dallas that will have a bit of an advantage. Them getting Quinnen Williams, trading the first-round pick in 2027, the second rounder this year to the New York Jets. They're getting a heck of a playmaker, a top 5 defensive interior lineman, no doubts, and he's going up against a Jackson Powers, Johnson-less Vegas Raiders team. Their offensive line on the interior now gets a lot weaker. Unfortunately, he goes to IR, and he could miss the rest of the 2025 season. Now, the Cowboys have been very run-oriented this year. I think when most people talk about Dallas, it's going to be Pickens, Lamb, Dak, the passing attack, but that hasn't quite been the core identity to what the Cowboys do very well, and I think it actually is a good matchup against this Raider team. Of course, when you play a guy like Maxx Crosby and that defensive line, it really helps when you have answers to be able to move the football with something else besides just dropping back to pass 40 times. And when they have the run game going with Javonte Williams, this really is a dangerous Cowboys team. Now, they ran the football for 123 yards against Arizona. I was surprised that they didn't keep the run game moving and continue to hand the football off. They had a lot of success on the ground, ran it 21 times for 120 yards, and that was 6 yards a carry, whereas the passing game is where they struggled. Now, with Dallas in this matchup, you feel good about their ability to retain a bit more balance. I think that Shoddy's going to come out here and try and run the football around 30 times, throw the football around 30 and truly have that balance. Because what does that do? It makes the job tougher on Crosby, whether or not there's a run. And Dak Prescott's used his legs at time this season, scrambling and picking up first downs, being quite mobile, more than we've seen pretty much since his rookie season or second year with the Cowboys. So I'm confident that Dallas can move the football and attack this Las Vegas Raiders secondary. They did a very good job against Denver. Bo Nix with his worst game of the season, a talented receiving core with Franklin and Sutton that they were able to limit. And I think that this game looks like it will have a feel of being close. Now, that's if the Raiders can slow this Cowboys attack on early. If Dallas gets momentum early in games, that's where they thrive. They can jump on you, put up 20 points in the first half, and you're really trying to play some come-from-behind football, and that's where the Raiders would really have a major disadvantage. This is a team that needs to play in schedule. Ashton Jeanty running the football, being able to be in 2nd and 5, 2nd and 4, where they have that balance. They can go play action, attack the middle with Brock Bowers, and they are able to retain the option of the run or pass when they are 2nd and short instead of being 2nd and long, and then it's going to be in a very pass-heavy down. I think that the Raiders have a bit of an advantage here going up against this Cowboys secondary. Dallas is one of the weaker teams in the NFL defending the pass and overall, of course, as a defense. I mean, when you're 3-5-1 on the year and you're putting up 29 points a game, that's certainly an issue. And they're 4th in the league in scoring. They're 4th in the NFL in yards a game, just short of 380 yards. And this is an opportunity for them to also try and put together a better defensive performance against a Raiders team that's offense has been putrid this year. 15 points a game. That's second to last. 273 yards a game. That's in the bottom quarter of the league, the bottom 25% of the league. And as well, the Raiders, although you talk positively about a guy like Maxx Crosby, that's about the majority of where the pressure comes. They only have 18 sacks on the season. That's just not enough. They haven't gotten enough pressure on the quarterback. That's about 2 a game. So this matchup definitely favors the Cowboys. I think to win this game by about double digits. I think a score like 29 to 20 just about makes sense. 30-20, something that's in line with that, with the Cowboys having success as an offense. I have to say that I'm very sorry to the Cowboys organization, their fans, their players, of course, the family of Marshawn Kneeland. A very sad story and circumstances surrounding that. So thoughts, prayers are with everyone around Marshawn, and of course we on this show just respect these guys and how tough it is to be human beings and not just athletes. And of course, when things like this happen, it would be great to see a community come together and support of these guys. You know, a lot of times with these NFL players, there's a separation between them almost being these mythological creatures and not actual humans, and they're attacked on social media and on the pure media by talking heads that are true analysts and get paid a bunch of money. And for me, I've really tried to establish a bit more of a brand where I bring people up and I criticize, I critique, but not ever, attacking people, and especially these players that are so talented and they do so much for the game that we all love. So with Blitz with Blender, I'm going to continue to try and do all of that. And as we move on to the rest of this preview and prediction here, just keep that in mind. You know, if you ever feel like putting something out there that's negative towards these players, that these guys really do put on a lot on the line. They make a lot of money, but also they do sacrifice quite a bit. Now, for the Raiders passing attack, when you have Geno Smith struggling like he has, I think an emphasis needs to be on the ground game. And it's tough because this offensive line hasn't protected Geno the entire year. He's gotten a ton of negative attention because of the 66.7% completion percentage, not so much because of the 11 touchdowns to 12 picks. He's turned the football over a ton this season. The wide receiving core hasn't done him a ton of favors. Trey Tucker's been pretty good. Of course, Brock Bowers has been phenomenal when he's available. When he's been on the field, he had that 3-touchdown performance, but I don't believe he has a touchdown besides that game. But he's been sacked 27 times. And when you have that amount of pressure on you, and he's actually been okay at evading it, but this offensive line has struggled to a degree that has made it a lot tougher on Geno Smith. You just look at Seattle's offensive line and how they're protecting Sam Darnold. It's a pretty stark comparison when looking at that. I think that the Raiders were very high on a guy like Dante Thornton. He's not even hit 100 yards total on the season, hasn't gotten into the end zone to score a touchdown. And when you put capital towards a rookie, you're looking for an impact. Or you go and get a guy like Tyler Lockett and you bring him in, and he's not at all been a part of this Raiders offense the entire season. That's unfortunate for this entire team, and they've run the football less than 4 yards a carry, a little bit under that, only 787 yards, and the major bulk of that being Ashton Jeanty. So I think a lot of this points towards the Cowboys having success. Their defense with an opportunity going up against one of the weaker offenses to actually put together a nice performance against the Raiders on the road. Monday Night Football, it's only 2 weeks removed from 2 weeks exactly from their Monday night performance against Arizona, where they could not stop Jacoby Brissett. They sacked him 5 times. I think they can get after Geno, sack him for 5 times in this game. They did an okay job against the run, only 4 yards a carry, 29 attempts. The Arizona squad kept at it and continued to stick with the run with DeMarcado and Knight on the day, but they got killed by Harrison, McBride, Wilson. That trio just decimated them in the secondary. So I do feel good about the Cowboys winning this game on Monday night because of the matchups. Their defense now, Quinnen Williams in the middle going up against, of course, this Raiders weak offensive line. Chip Kelly, it's been a very different type of way to call a game or call plays compared to last year with that crazy efficient offense he was. Again, that's in college football where the opponents most weeks are far superior, but if the talent also is equated, there are certain matchups that you can go to consistently on the outside with what he was working with. So I'm going to go Cowboys 30 and the Las Vegas Raiders 20 in this game. I believe they get a 2-score win on the road as they made that surprising move. It's almost like, all right, Quinnen Williams, this is going to be a team that's looking to make a playoff push, but with where they're sitting at 3-5-1, this is a must-win game for them. The Raiders season, right, with that loss to the Broncos is now pretty much over here, and they're looking to just, sustain momentum, try and figure out what this team is working with in the future here with their head coach, Pete Carroll. So I appreciate you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, subscribe for more Blitz with Blender content in the future. I make NFL and college videos weekly, getting you set and prepared for these games. It's November now. The stakes are higher every single day. Every week we get these matchups. They are bigger and bigger now. So I appreciate you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Best player in college football. That Georgia and Ohio State game, New Year's Eve, is going to be a classic.
Josh Blunder, hi everybody, I'm Josh Blunder. To the 40, 35, 30, Espinosa to the 20.